Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Ahmad Sobari Asidik from Pendidikan Agama Islam PAI. I will make a task for UAS reading article The Vital Necessity of Critical Education Policy Research. Critical approach to education policy research have a long, rich history nearly 4 decades ago. Dissatisfied with positive approach that dominate the field and fail to take into consideration of all that can influence and affect people's experience, scholars interrogate both the assumption and practice of this traditional scholarship. Reimagine epistemology, theory, and methods, and user in new approaches to the exploration of educational policy. The approaches, which are theoretical and methodologically eclectic, have come to be known as the critical policy analysis (CPA). Although the majority of critical policy analyses are qualitative and examine a variety of data sources from interviews to the analysis of archival material, the recent emergence of critical quantitative inquiry in the early 2000s further expanded the methodological approach used by critical policy scholars Tabron and Thomas. As evidenced by several of the pieces in this special issue, on the surface this approach may not seem to differ from more conventional approach. However, there are important distinctions from the deep analysis and concentrates looking into social and historical context, in which phenomena exist in order to reveal underlying patterns, relationship, meaning, and structure to the examination of our voice, interest, and impact. Theoretically, CPA draws from theories and methods associated with post-positivism, constructivism, and post-structuralism. The articles appearing in this volume, for example, draw on critical theory, critical race theory, abolitionist theory, equality politics theory, and theories of social construction. The need for critical policy research in the current historical moment in education and society more broadly is palpable. Attacks on public education have quickened at a frenzied pace. Features, principles, and superintendents are maligned, and elected officials have effectively prevented the use of inclusive and culturally responsive curriculum, content, and instructional practice in a growing number of states. Meanwhile, practice to exclude and punish racially minorities, students with disabilities, and transgender students persist even as growing evidence demonstrate the educational and emotional harm of such practice. The contribution in this special issue tackle important issue in PK-12 schools and higher education using critical frameworks and methods that the engage question about equity, disparity, power, and privilege. Their critical question and methods reflect a desire to understand deeply and to challenge and unpack status quo, understanding and practice challenging notion like it should be this way, it has always been this way, or there is no other way. As such, these pieces are inherently and critically political. In the paragraph that follow, we summarize each of the articles included in this volume intertwined with our own reflection, reaction, critique, and suggestion for this and future critical policy analysis. Trouble technology in education. In a sociological analysis of structural racism in student led generation products, Jacquet and Salazar 2024 explore the racial inequalities linked to prospective college student lists. This list serves as a match-making intermediary and assist college in their recruitment efforts. Research how that participating in student list products is positively associated with college access, particularly for underrepresented students. However, the design of this list may perpetuate structural sexism and inequality that harm racially minority students' higher education opportunities. Jacquet and Salazar 2024 explored this phenomenon. Truth and analysis of the College Board Student Search Service, focusing on the relationship between racial search filters and the mix of included versus excluded students, and the ways public in universities utilizes racialist filters alongside other search filter when purchasing student lists. In the research, Jacquet and Salazar 2024 recreate the College Board Student Search Service using a national sample from the high school longitudinal study of 2009. They examined 230 student lists from 14 public universities to assess the use of racialist search filters. The analysis enabled them to demonstrate the racial composition of the student list purchase. Actual and simulated the applied multiple filters simultaneously. Unsurprisingly, simulations revealed racial disparities associated with the academic and geographic search filters, with historical race-based inclusion influencing these inputs. Moreover, of the student list examined, they found that one or more racialized input are often used in the search filters. The simulation further demonstrates compounded racial disparity between include versus exclude prospective students. As Jacquet and Salazar 2024 note, both university and public school are more often using digital platform and software to assist them in performing important everyday operations. While this device and products can help with efficiency, they are not without their limitation, nor are they immune to the structural racism embedded within them. Indeed, if this device and products are not monitored or structured to promote racial equality, existing inequality will persist. As colleges and public schools increasingly seek outside assistance with daily operation, more critical analysis of third-party platform and products are needed, not just to reveal their potential issues but also to recommend how they can be structured to mitigate racial disparities. In their conceptual article, Platform Governments and Educational Policy, Power and Politics in Emerging Ecologies, Nichols and Dixon Roman 2024 used literature from critical platform studies and CPA to explore how platform technologies shape education policy by brokering relations among commercial, technical, and educational actors, and how these relations may affect educational equity as they become embedded into existing governance regimes. Using diffractive methodology, they elucidate how observation from scholarship on critical platform studies and CPA are reinforced or complicated by those of the other and vice versa. Nichols and Dixon Roman 2024 CPA points to how platform government overlaps with education government regime. It is not a separate of or supplemental regime but a convergent one fusing with other regimes while coaxing each to comport with the social, technical, and political economic relations that constitute and animate its activities. Platform technologies integral to both professional and personal aspects of our lives, not only provide us with a product or a service, but they also use and analyze the data from user to maintain or alter their product. Their analysis akin to Jacquet and Salazar 2024 research raises a question about winners and losers in the platformization of education and whether those they are designed for student, teacher, or administrators truly benefit, while platform may be adopted to address inequities and improve infrastructure and in evidence-based decision making in school. The way they are designed can actually reinforce structural inequalities. Indeed, like the racialist inputs used in search filters in student lists for prospective college students, platform technologies used in public school are not neutral tools and are designed with interest and imperative which shape the condition for equitable Education in School, Nichols and Dixon Roman 2024.